8 European cities destroyed by overtourism. A phenomenon known as overtourism occurs when popular tourist locations get overrun with visitors, endangering the environment, eroding local culture, and straining available resources. What are the problems caused by overtourism? While overtourism has caused problems for a number of European cities, the following 8 standout examples. Number 8. Venice, Italy. Italy's Venice is a perfect example of the problems caused by overtourism. Due to its unparalleled charm, which is exemplified by its intricate canal system and centuries-old architecture, a large number of tourists have arrived, far outnumbering the local populace. As a result, the city's charming squares and winding streets become congested, especially during the busiest travel seasons. The delicate Venetian lagoon is facing environmental degradation due to pollution caused by cruise ships, putting its ecosystem and water quality at risk. Furthermore, as historic structures are converted into tourist-focused businesses, displacing locals and changing neighborhood dynamics, Venice's cultural fabric faces erosion. Due to the high cost of housing and the increased demand for short-term rentals, more residents are moving to the mainland and Venice's resident population is declining. The infrastructure is unable to handle the influx and maintenance costs are rising as a result of heavy foot traffic and boat congestion. Restrictions on cruise ship access, the imposition of tourist taxes, and the encouragement of responsible travel are measures taken to counteract overtourism in an effort to preserve Venice's distinctive cultural legacy and guarantee sustainable tourism practices in the future. Number 7. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona, Spain has experienced severe problems as a result of excessive tourism, which has been made worse by the city's famous architecture, thriving cultural scene, and Mediterranean charm. Due to the city's popularity, major locations like La Rambla, Park Güell, and the Gothic Quarter are overcrowded, making it difficult for the historic buildings and small streets to handle the influx of people. The daily lives of the local populace have been impacted by the strain on infrastructure and resources, including waste management and public transportation. Environmental issues have also come up, especially in the areas surrounding parks and beaches that see higher levels of wear and pollution. Vacation rentals have increased dramatically in tandem with tourism's explosive growth, pushing up housing costs and uprooting residents from areas essential to the visitor experience. Protests and discussions about the city's identity and the viability of its tourism model have been triggered by this displacement. Barcelona has responded by enacting laws governing the impact of tourism, such as bans on the construction of new hotels and other lodging facilities in specific zones, campaigns to advertise tourist destinations outside of the city center, and programs to support environmentally friendly travel methods. In spite of the ongoing difficulties brought on by overtourism, these actions seek to strike a balance between the economic advantages of tourism and the preservation of Barcelona's cultural legacy and the standard of living for its citizens. Number 6. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Croatia's Dubrovnik, known for its magnificent architecture, medieval walls, and idyllic location by the Adriatic Sea, has recently struggled with the effects of excessive tourism. Due in part to its depiction as King's Landing in the television series Game of Thrones, the city experienced a sharp rise in popularity, which put a strain on its infrastructure and cultural integrity. Overcrowding the walled old town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has been one of the main problems. During the busiest travel seasons, narrow streets intended for pedestrian traffic become congested, which affects both the everyday lives of locals and visitors. Concerns regarding the preservation of historic structures and monuments, as well as the standard of living for those who live inside the walls, have been raised by this congestion. Another important issue has been environmental sustainability. Cruise ship arrivals put additional strain on the Adriatic coastline and neighboring islands, raising worries about pollution and the ecological effects on marine life. Additionally, the increase in demand from tourists has resulted in the growth of souvenir shops and other tourist-focused businesses, which has changed the character of neighborhoods and driven out traditional local services. Dubrovnik has responded by putting in place a number of measures to control overtourism. These include limiting the number of cruise ships that dock, encouraging ethical traveler behavior, and expanding the range of tourism destinations outside of Old Town. Number 5. Santorini, Greece. Greece's picture-perfect island in the Aegean Sea, Santorini is well known for its azure waters, whitewashed buildings perched on cliffs, and breathtaking sunsets. But the popularity of the place as a travel destination has created serious overtourism-related problems. Overcrowding is one of the most noticeable problems on Santorini, especially in the two main towns, Fira and Oia. These quaint villages with their winding streets and alleyways can get overrun with tourists during the busiest travel season, which affects both the locals and the overall experience of visitors. The island's infrastructure, including waste management, transportation, and the availability of energy and water, is under tremendous strain due to the surge of visitors. There are now environmental concerns as well because of the stress on Santorini's fragile ecosystem. Concerns regarding sustainability and the preservation of the island's natural beauty have been brought up by the rise in development and construction meant to cater to tourists. Furthermore, as tourism has grown, the local economy has changed, moving towards services and businesses catering to the travel industry, which may have an impact on the customs of the locals. Regulations on new construction and lodging, campaigns to support off-peak season travel, and education programs on responsible tourism practices are some of the measures being taken to address these issues. Santorini is still trying to find a way to balance keeping its appeal as a travel destination with protecting its natural and cultural heritage for future generations. Number 4. Amsterdam, Netherlands. The Dutch city of Amsterdam, known for its charming canals, ancient buildings, and active cultural scene, has had to deal with serious problems as a result of excessive tourism. Overcrowding has resulted from the city's popularity as a travel destination, especially in well-known locations like the Red Light District, Dam Square, and the Anne Frank House. These places can get overrun with tourists during the busiest travel seasons, which can negatively affect the standard of living for locals and create logistical difficulties for public services and infrastructure. The effect on housing is among the main problems Amsterdam faces. Locals are finding it more and more difficult to find affordable housing in the city center as a result of the rise in short-term rentals via websites like Airbnb. This has added fuel to worries about neighborhood gentrification and resident displacement. Sustainability of the environment is another issue. The city's infrastructure and natural resources are under strain due to the high volume of tourists in Amsterdam's small geographic area. There are initiatives in place to control waste, encourage cycling as a green mode of transportation, and lessen the negative effects of tourism on the environment. Amsterdam has taken a number of actions to address these issues. To more fairly distribute tourist traffic, these strategies include enacting tourist taxes, restricting the construction of new hotels in the city center, and highlighting lesser-known areas and sites. Along with preserving the city's distinctive heritage and boosting visitor experiences through cultural programming, initiatives also aim to make sure that tourism benefits the neighborhood and local economy. Number 3. Dublin, Ireland. Dublin, Ireland, a city well known for its Georgian architecture, vibrant bar scene, and literary heritage, has felt the effects of excessive tourism in recent years. There is overcrowding in popular tourist destinations like Temple Bar, Trinity College, and the Guinness Storehouse due to the city's increased popularity, especially during events like St. Patrick's Day and the Dublin Literary Festival. Dublin's infrastructure has been overtaxed due to overcrowding. The city's small streets and historic sites are frequently overrun by tourists. The daily lives of the locals are impacted by this congestion in addition to the flow of tourists. Problems like littering, noise pollution, and congestion on public transit systems are getting worse. Furthermore, as a result of property owners taking advantage of short-term rentals targeted at tourists, the growth in tourism has had an adverse effect on the economy and raised housing costs in central areas. The affordability of housing for Dublin's citizens and the city's capacity to preserve its unique identity in the face of pressure from tourism-driven development has both been raised by this trend. Number 2. Berlin, Germany. It's difficult to imagine that Berlin, the most cosmopolitan city on Earth, was once the front line of the Cold War, given how much has changed in the nearly 35 years since the wall fell. However, there are always reminders of Berlin's divided past. Whether you're walking past the Brandenburg Gate, admiring the graffiti at the East Side Gallery, or learning about the displays at the DDR Museum. These reminders are an integral part of what makes Berlin, Germany's capital, unique. After that, it's time to take in all of the city's incredible modern touches, including its distinctive independent shops, hip neighborhoods, and legendary club culture. Number 1. Vienna, Austria. The majestically elegant Hofburg transports you to Vienna's era of great empires while you admire the imperial crowns in the treasury, the Spanish riding school's ballet on horses, and the chandelier-lit apartments fit for Empress Elizabeth. The 1441-room Scholl's Schönbrunn, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the Baroque Schloss Belvedere, both set in exquisite gardens, rival the palace, a relic of the 640-year Habsburg era in grandeur. So this is the end of our today's video. If you like it, then hit the like button, give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.